Hey guys, welcome to another one of our videos. I'm the Worm, this is the Problem. Today's just going to be a random update of kind of a lot of things and a little bit of information. But I think we're going to be starting with...
a lot of stuff we said we was going to do and haven't. It was a brainchild. We kind of bored and thought, yeah, okay, we've said we're going to update a lot of things and we haven't actually really done any of it. So,
but we're starting with today with the EU directive with the vaping towards banning it basically.
Yeah, tobacco dependency crap that they're trying to propose.
I haven't really read this, so I'm...
Basically...
It's still going to be in this bit.
Yeah, it's not going to be too long. The update as of this moment in time, which is today, the 11th of the 5th, or in America it's still the 11th of the 5th, but you're right backwards. Basically, what's the progress has been made, obviously everyone's been petitioning and writing to their MPs and whatever else. Basically, I'm sorry if I'm looking down, I've got this written down because the names are long. I'm going to actually put it out. Basically, the MEP for the Northwest, Jacqueline Foster, is Conservative MEP for the Northwest, has proposed to the EU Commissioner, which is Tonio Bork, to remove e-cigs from this directive that's being proposed. So obviously if that's approved, that would mean that vaping as we know it is going to be exactly the same. Nothing's going to change.
So good news.
Yeah, it's good news so far because the fact that the MEP of the Northwest and basically just everyone's MPs have been listening and putting this proposition forward, the voices are being heard. It's made its way to the EU Commissioner, which is obviously, it's no small feat in itself, I don't think. I think it's pretty good that it's actually done that, and obviously everyone's been sort of voicing their view on this. So it's looking okay. Obviously if that goes ahead, then vaping as we know it won't change. This has been proposed before and been declined, and obviously the community is now much bigger and stronger, so I can't see any reason as to why it wouldn't be declined again. I mean, obviously that's probably part of their theory, the community is much bigger and stronger, so a lot more people doing it, but there's one simple answer for that: it works. So that is kind of the update as of now. It hasn't been announced whether it's been sort of accepted or declined. I'd imagine when it is, there will be a lot of stuff all over forums and websites and so on and so forth, basically saying thank fuck for that. But that is, as of now, what is happening. The voices are obviously making a difference. And just in case you haven't written to your MP, keep doing it, because obviously stuff is happening. The more people that back it, the more chance it is of happening. So it's as simple as that. It is a bit bullshit that we're having to do this, because it's not harmful. So they're just trying to obviously milk it and rape it and try and label it as medicinal when, I mean, it's not, is it? Let's be fair. It's not a syndrome we suffer from. You can choose not to smoke altogether, and there are people that do that. They're those non-smokers typically, but we're choosing to do this. I can go a day without vaping. Went a few hours the other day, no problem at all. I could not vape during these videos. I prefer to. It's a choice we all make, and I think it's exactly the same choice that people make when they decide they want to smoke. It's a choice. Yes, it's an addiction, but you're still choosing to go and buy them cigarettes. You're still choosing to stick it in your mouth. You're still choosing to like it. Yes, there is still nicotine involved, but there's nothing stopping you ultimately reducing the nicotine strength. Myself and Worm have since starting. I started on 36mg strength. My first bottle, it was my only bottle of 36mg strength. But I'm now on a 1/6 of that. We vape typically under 6mg now, just purely because we like to vape and vape and vape. Honestly, if it goes through, I can't see it, but if the directive does go through and it casts as medicinal, vaping 4mg liquid isn't going to be something that bothers me. It may affect the DIY, but then fuck it, I'll just vape nicotine free. It's not going to stop me doing it. It's just going to stop me having nicotine in there. But whatever, fuck you, EU directive. The voices are being heard, and hopefully it goes through as we all want it to. Unless you're anti-vaping, in which case go and watch Greenpeace videos or something. I don't really care what you watch, but if you're anti-vaping, then
that's enough on that anyway. Yeah, good news so far. Not going to go through it at the moment. Update as well on the Nano. As you can probably tell, I've been using it since the beginning of the video, just because that's going to be the first one that I was going to update on. It seems to be going strong. I haven't used it overly too much. I mean, I've used it the rest of the day that we showed the video, which was probably a week or two ago. So
I think.
I used it for that day with the menthol in it. It's still got some menthol that I topped it up with. The menthol's kind of died off, which because we're using menthol crystals it will do. You need to kind of keep topping it up and to keep it at that menthol level, but it's only like...
It's been sat there for a week or two though,
yeah,
so it's going to, any flavour will have died off a bit.
So, but so far, still no leakages.
No leakages, but you did say you was getting an occasional dry hit.
Yeah, an occasional dry hit, but it was on par with like the occasional dry hit you get with a V3, and that was generally when it was quite low.
We did have a little discussion about it, and we think basically like what I said in the video when you agreed, it's just it's a little bit too narrow in there. There's a lot of area taken up by the atomizer, and obviously the body as well. It's a very, very small gap. So occasionally you may have to pour some liquid through. It's no, for me personally, that's not a big deal. I think you agree with that. It's not a big deal. And when I was using Carto tanks, obviously I got a Carto tank. It came with one hole in the Carto, and the ones I bought came with 3 holes. They were wicking differently, but even with the 3 holes at 1 mil, now and again I'd have to. Very rarely, wasn't dry hitting, but it wasn't juicing as much as I'd like it to. So if you're kind of using a Carto tank, you do a similar thing anyway. So I don't. It's still a good little device.
It's similar size to a Carto. I mean, I've actually
put a drip tip in. It's actually exactly the same size, isn't it? Yeah. Here's what I've got. Oh, you got the drip tip.
That's got a drip tip in. In fact, it is
exactly the same size.
Exactly the same size.
So they're made to.
But that is a standard size bogue. Obviously, you can get bigger sizes, but as your standard size, your 35 mils. It's exactly the same size, so there we go. But yeah, it's a nice little device. It doesn't do too badly.
For £3.
For £3 far away, if you're just going to run like on a night out on a piss up, it will do you. It won't do you greatly, but it will do you.
Personally, my money, I buy a Carto. So I buy the 5 bogues and a drip tip. Costs you twice as much, but you get 5 of them in there. Realistically, I mean, the other day I had issues with the Vamo. We'll get into that, but. I was using this Carto, this one and this one only, changing up juices and everything else, obviously with a little drip tip in. I was using that for a good, 3 days solid I actually used this for, as well as using it in between when I couldn't be bothered to juice up the DDA and stuff, and just starting to get slightly clogged. So a week's worth of use out of each. If you were just going to toss them, if you're going to clean them, you're probably going to have a week or 2 in them. So, but a week's worth of each, you still got sort of, if you the drip tip you would have to buy again for £5 or £6. Was it £6 for the Cartos? £5.99, wasn't it?
It was £5.97, I think it was.
Okay, so five. So call it £6.
£6
for £1.20 each. Call it. That's the basic £1.20 a week, isn't it?
Was we doing? We weren't doing up there on bogues.
No, but I'm just saying, like in comparison that to this.
Yeah,
my money, I'd buy these.
Buy the bogues and be done with it.
Yeah, you might have.
It's a nice little device. It's not.
The bogues perform better. It's simple as that.
Quite a long way.
And the price wise for the amount of time you can use it for, probably similar. What we're doing now, Baron.
The Baron re-wick. You saw the video that me re-wicking this with just count for a while. It did work fine. Don't get me wrong, it was vaping the same, the flavour was the same. The only problem is because I wasn't using any non-resistance wire. This body got extremely hot. I mean, we are talking like
A7 hot,
if not hotter.
Yeah, it's very, because your negative comes off your body is what makes it even worse, because it's fucking touching. The heat's going all the way literally to the body.
It was so hot. It was just like I couldn't even unscrew it for a good. I had to give it a good 10 seconds after vaping to unscrew it to get it off. To then I did take it out and put one of the ones that come, the pre-cord that I bought, and put one of them in, and again working exactly the same, just not getting an extremely hot body. So
yeah, I mean you can do it, and if you don't mind a hot body, if you're using a drip tip, whatever.
Yeah, it'll be fine if you're using drip tip, but I don't. Generally.
Yeah, you prefer to use that, don't you? It was getting, like, I mean, if I rate vape the A7, it can get as hot, if not slightly hotter, but you didn't even have to really rate vape that.
That was like
normal
2 or 3
pace, and it was getting hot, which makes sense as a negative comes and touches the body that it's going to get hot. But if you've got a Baron, you're waiting for delivery of your heads, it performs as well as a standard heads. It just gets a little bit hot.
As long as you've got the right wick in there and the nice coil going.
Worm did have to cut some of his wick out as well. By the way, from the video, he did actually rammo that thing full. So don't rammo it full.
But it was a test in theory.
Oh yeah, no, it was a theory. It could have worked well, but
it still did work. It seems like some of the juice was getting stuck in the chain, as it were. When you got just a single wicks going down, it just seems to go straight up into the atomizer. You're all good. So that is just for future reference.
That's the Baron update.
What we got next?
We're down here now. We've got a list. Liberty Flights wick. It is cheap.
It is cheap.
It's only like £3.50 for 5 metres, and we was repping it hard, weren't we?
We was
going Liberty Flights for wick, Liberty Flights for wick. Honestly, when I ordered this A7, I bought some. What was it? 2 metres. 2 metres of 1.45 mil wick from Pink Mule. The difference is astronomical. I've come to the conclusion that the
Stick
cut
to
and
one
dry
metre.
of it is you're going to pay £1 a metre for a good wick. Alright, it's as simple as that. I think I paid £2.19.
Yeah.
£2.19 for 2 metres, but it is really, really good wick from Pink Mill. Good for dripping anyway.
It was 1.45 mil. We bought that.
Yeah, 1.45 mil, but I do 1.3 and 1 as well. One has.
Yeah,
I'm guessing you're going to say the same thing.
Basically, the one has got like.
It works in strands.
Yeah, it's got 8 strands, I think it has, and the other.
No, one's got 6, isn't it?
No, it's not 6 and 4. It's 8 and 6.
Was it not getting higher?
No, it was their way.
I'm pretty sure the 1 mil had 6 strands.
No, it was 8.
Oh,
Seriously,
check
seriously, the 1 mil has 8 strands for some reason. Don't ask me why. And the 1.45 had 6 strands, which is probably why it's a little bit more fluffy and probably wicking better.
I think also something that one pointed out when we went on to Liberty, it doesn't specify silica wick, it just specifies wick. I think that's part of the reason why this wick is fluffy, because
clear.
it's actually silica, which silica is sand, sand makes glass, fiberglass, silica wick. There's the link.
And that's why it goes clear.
It goes fluffy and it goes clear and it's got juice on. So I don't know what the wick on Liberty flights was made out of, but we're guessing it's not silica. It does do a good enough job. It's, don't get us wrong, it's not bad, but we was kind of like, oh, the canthol's tainting the flavour, and it turns out it was actually the wick.
Yeah, I think the way we would, the way I would describe it personally is, if you're trying to re-wick something like the dreaded Kanger, I know I'm bringing it up, but the dreaded Kanger,
perfect for that.
because it doesn't wick
And
too
well,
quick,
yeah.
it would probably fix the flooding problem on that.
And you also mentioned the eye clears as well.
And the
didn't
eye clears, which I'm going to be doing
you?
tonight. I'm going to
Hopefully
give it a crack.
Give it a go.
I'm going to give a crack at the dual core, which I said I'd do. I'll give it a crack at it a few times. We're also going to be doing the take apart of the CE8, so you can see what's inside later on. He's going to be doing that one. He wants to smash it apart.
Get my hands on that thing
But,
for once, and I'll prove it.
We'll skip that anyway. And we're also going to be trying the iClear 16 head in the iClear 30. See if that goes well. But that's later on. PA flavours.
Oh, Perfumes Apprentice from Liberty Flights. It's not just Liberty Flights, actually, it's Perfumes Apprentice.
Perfumes
They sell
Apprentice.
from their own website, I believe, as well. It's harder though, because their own website, you don't know whether it's flavourings for food or flavourings for e-liquid. Because remember, we look, they've got so many flavourings, some of which we've never seen on any e-liquid site, and you read into it, and they do sell flavourings for e-liquid, which taste nothing like the flavour, and flavourings for food, which will vape nothing like the flavour. So order at your own risk. Obviously, vaping.
I do want to say though, the first raspberry we had, the holy rastrberry, was from them.
Yeah, it's like we was given a touch of heaven and they banned us from ever having it again because they changed or whatever. But PA flavours, yeah, basically the good, the bad and the ugly is that they were good, they're now bad, and it's incredibly ugly.
Yeah.
Because all PA flavours recently, to be honest with you, that we've tried, they're not, they taste like they're supposed to, ish. The raspberry doesn't really, but it's almost like the flavour is hidden
Raspberry
behind.
tastes like
and
vaping sick.
It's not as bad as that, but it's
Seriously, to me, it just tastes vile.
But what was I going to say? Yeah, it's almost like the flavour is hidden behind an invisible wall that we can't access. Because you can kind of taste what flavour it is. If you taste it, you go, that's raspberry, but you're like, that's raspberry. It's kind of like, it's just there, but it's not a nice just there. It's just literally a flavour that remotely tastes like what it's meant to, and it's just there. Got to admit, the apple from there isn't bad, but again, you get a very powdery. The best way to describe it is
last
powdery.
either. The flavours just seem to drop off after like 2 weeks. If you haven't vaped all that juice you've mixed up, the flavour's just gone pretty much. I mean, if you stick it in something like a car, well, not so much a car, but a Nova or a V3, I can barely taste them. I mean, literally, it's like
at the start they're okay, aren't they?
Yeah, when you first pre-mix them and the flavours banging in there, you're fine. But like, if you do like PA flavours and you prefer them to the other ones else, I don't know why, but I would recommend knocking them up in 10 mils, using them over 2 or 3 days. After like an hour in hot water, give it a good shake, crack on, and use it within those couple of days.
I mean, realistically, our recommendation, yes, they are cheaper. They're about between $2.20 and $2.60, aren't they? Whereas Flavour Art are about $2.79, which is like $120 more. And the newly added Capella flavour range to Liberty Flights are about $3.20, so they're kind of in the middle. We've just ordered. Oh, right, okay. We've just ordered quite a lot of Flavour Art flavourings and a couple of the Capella. The 2 Capella we ordered, which was the orange and mango and the raspberry.
Banging.
absolutely fantastic flavours. They really are. In fact, we've now built a basket.
We are so in love with this. We've actually knocked up a bottle of the orange and mango each, and this is the last of it.
But yeah, basically we're so interested in this Capella company now because these two flavours are that good that we've knocked up about a 60 quid basket on Liberty just consisting of Capella flavours that we want to try, and we are going to buy the lot.
Yes.
And we're going to try them all.
And I think we were actually a couple of random ones in there as well, didn't we? Like
the random combinations from Capella.
Because they do like
a lot of weird
apple
flavours.
pie and
Snickers bars and all that kind of stuff. So they've got a lot of weird flavours.
I think we got like what 10 fruit flavours and then 2 or 3 weird ones.
And a couple of bottles of orange and mango extra. But if the weird flavours, I mean, these orange and mango generally taste like orange and mango, so much so that it feels like you've just drunk it. Raspberry, it's not so much raspberry on the way in, but it's just a constant, strong raspberry flavour.
I don't know how it is with his A7 because it's kind of playing up with him at the moment, which we'll get onto in a minute. But in my E-Baron, after I vaped this orange and mango, I swear, actually, I can feel it feels like orange zest on my teeth. It is so strong. It's only banging.
It was like that mixed at 5%. We then decided we wanted to up it slightly. We mixed it about 8 or 9%. And honestly, it was bloody gorgeous. So we're going to try.
It is strong though.
It's strong,
but it's going to level out.
A dripper.
Yeah, it is going to level out.
In your Novas and your Kaito tanks, probably 10% is going to be absolutely smashing. Yeah. But we're going to try all of them flavours that we've got there, just because if the couple of them random combinations, if things like the apple pie generally taste like a nice sweet apple, and then you get, it's not going to taste like pie, but I imagine it's going to taste maybe like a pie crust on the way out.
That pasta sort of that.
Pasty, like pastry.
Pastry.
Pasty. Cornish pasty apple. But if that kind of tastes what it's meant to taste like, then they're going to be lovely flavours. There's a lot of nice kind of, like I say, Snickers bar, chocolate, caramel, peanut. So if you do get sort of a smoothie chocolate sweetness with a bit of caramel on the way in, and you get sort of a peanut in there, that is not going to be an all date for me by any means. But it'd be nice to go, do you know what? I've got this flavour to the people that we talk to and go, try that, and it go, fuck me, it tastes like Snickers. Yes, it does. That's kind of what we're going. We have recently ordered a lot. We only ordered 2 from Capella. We ordered quite a few flavour up flavours. I think about 12 or 14 in total. Things like the Irish cream and flavour is lovely, but the Capella do one of them, and I think we're going to have to try that.
We put it on the list, I think it is. I think that's one of our random ones that we personally don't vape a lot of, but
it's a very nice
give flavours to does.
Yeah, I mean the Irish cream from Flavourite is a very nice Irish cream. It does. It's a very, very smooth, it's almost like breathing in silk, but it does taste of Irish cream. Yeah, it's very good.
It's very, 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 very close.
But it is very, 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 very rich.
Yes.
So, best thing we found, about 8 to 10%, leave it to steep for a week or 2 at least. But that's a bit of info there. The other flavours, we haven't tried all the ones we've got, but we have just tried the vanilla, very true to vanilla. Marshmallow, haven't tried it enough yet, realistically. But it was just a sweetness, but I think that's what
the marshmallow is going to be one of those ones that needs like probably a week to steep.
Yeah. But something else I should point out, if you're into your fruit flavours, which Worm is, I am, recently in particular, certain fruits like your strawberry, I like them earthy to an extent with a sweet undertone. All of Favourite's fruits so far seem very earthy. I mean, their raspberry, personally, I rate their raspberry something like a 4 out of 10. It tastes like the leaf has been grounded up with a little bit of raspberry. It's not particularly good. It's only been steeped for 2 days, so don't take this as gospel. It could come back in a week's time and go, that was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But
at the moment, I'm liking it about 7. But I like it quite earthy.
If you go from Capella to Favourite's raspberry though,
compared to Capella's, it's like a 5. But on its own as a standalone, it is a 7.
It's not a bad vape, but you've got to bear in mind Capella's about 50p cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, we've got it there. That's the raspberry there. Flavourite. That's the FA at the bottom. Just so you know, it's the Favourite one. I've been using it, and I quite enjoy it.
We've got their coconut, didn't we? We've got their apple. We've got a few to try. I mean, that earthiness on a coconut could be banging, because coconut is a very earthy
I haven't showed you this yet, but if I vape that for like 5-10 minutes, like maybe 10 drops or so, like in 5 drops and then 5 drops again, and then bang some raspberry on top of it, you kind of get this crispness of this in the background and the flavour of the raspberry.
No, I did try that earlier because you dripped that on top of the orange.
It's quite nice.
Yeah, I tried it earlier and it wasn't like I said to you. That's what tastes like nice. So it's been dripped onto orange and mango, and you get the sweetness of the orange and mango, the kind of acidity, crispness, and then you get the kind of raspberry flavour. But honestly, I think mixing the Capella and the orange and mango probably even better.
I think we're going to have to look into getting some of these this sweetener for some of these more bitter tastes that isn't quite where we want it to, because a little bit of sweetener in this raspberry, could be banging. We're even going to try a bit of menthol in this raspberry, could be banging.
I think menthol in that raspberry would probably be good.
Yeah.
Because the raspberry is very strong.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where we are on flavours, guys. At the minute, I know we repped hardcore for Perfume's Apprentice, but at the time, that raspberry, to me, is still, even with orange and mango, the nicest e-liquid I have ever tried. But either they've changed the recipe, they've contaminated the recipe, or their mixtures aren't consistent. Any of the three above, I'm not buying from you again. It's as simple as that. If you can't give me something that's going to be the same every time, don't bother doing it at all. Yeah. That's where I stand on Perfume's Apprentice, so we're now taking back our recommendation for that. Moving towards Capella, and Flavour Art flavours are good. I'm not going to state that they're bad, they're not, it's just their fruits are a little bit earthy for me. Their vanilla is true to vanilla though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, the vanilla is very nice.
And marshmallow I think needs a while.
We've got to test that one.
We've got to test the apple, and I imagine apple with that earthiness.
Their lemon is nice.
Their lemon is good.
Their lemon actually tastes like lemon.
I'm not going to lie to you, Capella do a lemon and lime, which we're going to get, and I'd imagine that is going to knock it into next week. But we don't know yet, so we'll see where we go with that. But Flavour Art are a good flavour company. Capella, in my opinion, are better. That's kind of where we sit on the PA flavours fiasco.
Yeah, we're not buying from PA.
Withdrawing our recommendation for PA, I would recommend that you spend the extra £1, sometimes not even that, and go for the Capella, especially if you want fruit. Get orange and mango, but it's the same as the original raspberry. When we go to buy, if it's not there, come into your house, Steve. I know I've recommended that to you. I'm going to blame you personally if it's not there. If you tell me you've ordered it and it's banging. So yeah, that's kind of where we're sitting on flavours at the minute. Still Liberty Flights for flavours though.
Oh yes, definitely.
No reflection on Liberty Flights whatsoever.
Liberty Flights do such an amazing selection for all in one place. It's just like if you're going to bulk order flavours, Liberty Flights definitely way to go for flavours. Not so much for anything else at the moment.
Yeah, I mean for them. More to that kind of stuff, right? Sorry, whilst we're on Liberty Flights, this has just popped into my head. One of the guys we've mentioned a couple of times, Robbie, who I said emails with about DIY mixing. I don't actually think I've told you this. Basically, the Liberty Flights nicotine solution, okay, is a pink colour. The first one I got from Totally Wicked was clear. The one I got from sig-eliquid.co.uk it's like an orange. It's kind of, yeah, it's almost like an off yellow.
It's like a faded orange.
I think part of it depends on their nicotine, part of it depends on what they're mixing with. I don't know for gospel, okay? But Robbie was having some tainting issues, we believe, where all of his liquids were tasting the same, none of them were tasting great. He was using PA flavours, so that could have been part of the issue. But he did smell his nicotine, so his nicotine had a distinct smell, which it shouldn't do. It should be odourless, pretty much. And he wasn't overly happy with the nicotine solution. He's recently bought from sig-eliquid.co.uk, where with the nicotine we've just basically knocked up a load with, and he's having no problems whatsoever. He contacted Liberty Flights. I actually contacted Liberty Flights for him as well. And for us, because the raspberry wasn't working right, and they said, "Oh, let us know information about your order." La 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 la. And basically, my response was, "Liberty, you ain't worth it. The effort and the bullshit that you're going to come out with for a tenner. It's just not worth it to me." So whatever, they have tried. From what I gather, they've tried to fob Robbie off a little bit, saying we've checked, our PAE flavours are definitely not contaminated, our nicotine's definitely not contaminated, so on and so forth. Well, I'm sorry, but how can they check that? If their batches are so large that they claim, how can you possibly check that one person's is not contaminated? And
could have been saying the bottom of the bottle.
It could have been anything. Now, at the end of the day, this is a big company. That shouldn't be happening. If it was something at the bottom of the bottle or a contaminated syringe, this shouldn't be happening. There should be new shit used every time. Completely sterilised environment. So this shouldn't be happening. So I don't really want to slag Liberty Flights off because they have been good to us. But equally, we've had our own issues with them. And when we first got the Kangers, when we first got the Kangers, I mean, the girl on the phone said to me, like, "You sound like an experienced vapor. I'm not going to try and fob you off." So, I mean, I was like, "Sweet, good, fair enough. Don't try and fob me off." But that on the backhand of that says to me, had I not been an experienced vapor, knew what I was talking about, and don't get me wrong, Worm will vouch for this, I am an epic moaner when it comes to companies, not just e-cigs, but
Jesus.
just in general. If I'm not happy with a product or a service, I'll speak to
if he's not happy with like the wind blowing in the window the right way, he fucking moans about that.
I'm not a compulsive moaner. When it comes to companies, shut your fucking mouth. When it comes to companies, that's not me moaning. That's telling you to shut the fuck up, Jake, what you're talking about. When it comes to companies and customer service in particular, I will sit there and I will give them a proper dressing down until I am happy with the result. And as a customer, I will always be happy.
He does moan a lot to companies when he's not happy.
Yeah, and I will make sure that the resolution is in my favour, okay? But that on the backhand says to me, had I not been an experienced vapor, she would have tried to fob me off. Now, I'm sorry, that's not how you do business, especially when, if it isn't an experienced vapor, chances are they're a new customer.
Vapier?
They're a new customer, in which case the first introduction they will get to vaping is a company trying to mug them off, especially a big company. So take that as you will, guys. Personally, the only thing I really recommend Liberty Flights for now, because the nichrome one is far too high resistance, their wick isn't all that good. Their flavour up flavours and their Capella flavours are okay. Their PAs aren't very good, but let's face it, none of them come from that company anyway. They're made from another company and bought by that company.
The Capella are American, by the way.
Capella are American. Bought the Nova from there, wasn't as good quality as it was from Vaporscape. The Kangers, well, a lot of people ran and rave, but not good quality. The C5s or the Vision Replaceables or the V3s, whatever you want to call them, they were slightly better quality than Totally Wickeds. But as a site, personally, the only thing we order from them now is flavourings. Again, you take that as you will. I'm not saying don't use Liberty Flights, by all means. All I will say is Vaporscape is very good. Right, so take that as you will.
And Pink Mule.
Pink Mule, very good also. You have to wait a bit longer for your
They
stuff,
are
but they are cheaper.
But a lot of people do like all from America and that, so to you lot, it's not going to be a problem. You're going to just order 5 days in advance and you should be there.
Yeah, we're kind of leaning onto sites here. We have got a little section for sites.
Go on to the Arga,
the Arga. Okay, we'll get on to the Arga. The Arga is over here somewhere. Now, the Arga's over here, right? Okay, this thing is it's like the untamable beast, and one day I will tame this bitch. But I re-wicked it the other day. It went spectacularly well, apart from getting the wicks into the holes. But we sorted that, resolved that, got the wicks in now. Jobs are good and coil on, everything was igniting, nice 1.6 ohm coil.
No hotspots.
No hotspots, everything was perfect as is. Using the new wick from Pink Mule, it wicks really well.
Like sucks it up like a Hoover.
Right, put the top on, nice vape. Put the top on, dry hit. Right, okay, what's going on here? Check the coil. Basically, what's happening is the coil is igniting, vaporising the liquid in the coil, but in the wick underneath the coil, sorry, and then it seems like the coil's drying out, and you let it off, and it instantly resucks in. Now, that said to me, and it will say to most people, coil's too tight. Fair enough. Right, took the coil off, redid it, made sure it was not too tight. Still the same problem. And then I think again, made it too loose, and it still had the same problem. Then, well, maybe, because we're using 2 bits of wick, 1.45, it's only a 3mm hole, it should be only be 2.9mm of wick, but we thought maybe it's a bit fluffy. We'll try it with 1 piece of wick on a higher resistance coil on lower volts, so it's not burning quite so hot. Still the same problem. I honestly believe the only way I'm ever going to get this fucking thing to work is using mesh, which we are going to do.
Possibly.
We will.
Not
today, I'm just talking about in general. But I do want to say, in terms of mesh actually, that wires.co.uk that we recommend for the Canthol, we discovered the other day they do mesh. I think 400 and 500 stainless steel. Quite a big section of it for £3.
It's like a metre by a metre.
It wasn't that big. They did do metre by metre, but it wasn't £3 for that. I think that
That was about £3. But they metre by metre, that would do you for
ever. But they do. I think it was something like 10 centimetres or 12 or 20 centimetres by either 20 or 30. I'm sorry.
By 20.
They have got a section actually on that wire site for e-cigs. Personally, I recommend going Canthol because they don't include the big size spindles in that. So I paid like 3 times the price and get like 200 times the amount of wire. But they do mesh as well. So you could kind of stock up, barring silica wicks, the only thing we haven't found on there, you could stock up on your mesh and your wire if you're doing rebuildables.
If anyone who does know like of a UK seller that is selling really good standard, like 1.45
on the forum the other day.
What one?
The bloke on the forum who sells it £1 a metre plus 50p for postage.
Yeah, but like
it's not good. I mean, it's got a
reel of it. I'm talking like
50 metres,
200 metres.
What? That's not going to be cheap, is it? £1 a metre, you
No,
don't.
that's what I'm saying. If there's anywhere that sells it bulk cheaper that people know of that we don't, because we haven't found any.
£100 though.
I know,
minimum.
but
I don't want to spend £100 on wick.
Yeah, you do.
I don't, for fuck's sake. I could use it as a zip rope to get to work at 200 metres from here.
But
well, actually, no, I couldn't. It's uphill. Use it on my back.
But any bulk amount of wick, if you know anywhere that sells it reasonably cheap, like we're talking like 50 metres for £20.
I'll tell you what, Scrap, why don't you just tell us if you know any sites, or tell us what site, if you're using wick, tell us the best site
that
you have found for your wick. I'm not worried about price, just tell us the best site you found for your wick. We will check it out ourselves. And also, it might not be a site we've seen, so we'll check everything else out as well.
Yeah.
That's kind of where the Arga is. It's one day.
To be continued.
It will be there. Bear in mind, I bought the Arga nearly 3 months ago.
Darth ammo.
Are we on already? Oh,
yeah, Darth ammo. Do the noise.
I can't remember what noise I did. Is it?
Do.
I did that yesterday on a WhatsApp video to Worm and Dan, who sent us some liquids, and they both found it funny, hilarious. You may have noticed the Vamo's black again, which was epic. I want to explain the whole process. Basically, we'll start with the A7 and move on to the Vamo, because that led to the Vamo, if that makes sense, which it won't to you, but it does to you. Basically, A7 adjustable centre pin. Sounds fantastic. Devices that have got a shorter centre pin, you can adjust it, make sure it fits nice. You can adjust it to make sure no matter what the device is, it will make a connection. Wicked. Okay. Problem being, well, the connection it makes is not as reliable. I mean, at the minute, this is 3.8 ohm coil in this A7. I would like to point out this is actually a 1.6 ohm coil in this A7. But with this centre pin, it could be an 8.4 ohm, it could be a 1.6 ohm, it could be a 2.7. It changes its mind as and when it fucking feels like it. And you think, I'll screw it in tight and it's all good. No, even when it's in tight, it changes. Okay? So it's like, what the fuck?
What's the other problem with screwing it in tight?
The other problem with screwing it in tight is partially my fault. Well, it is my fault. Basically, the best way I found to make a connection, right, was to have the centre pin about 3 mil, 1 to 3 mil out of the bottom of the 510 connection, and then screw it down. And then what happens was, as you were screwing it down, it was actually adjusting the centre pin to the exact point where it needed it, and it was working spectacularly. I want to point out it was true to the ohmage, and I thought that was it. Fucking cushy problem solved. I'm not going to have to worry about it again. I'll just make sure it's unscrewed. And I think if you watch the A7 video, I even said unscrew it slightly and then wind it on, and it's perfect. Because that was pretty much its only downfall. That does lead to another problem.
Sometimes.
The other problem, well, no, we'll not just tell, the other problem is.
Well, it didn't happen every time, because you've done it quite a few times. What I'm saying is, that centre post, when you're like the adjustable, because it is a screw thread, can jam like any screw thread can. And when that happens, what happens to your centre pin?
Well, I kept screwing it, and my centre pin went. Flush with the bottom. So basically, I could still use the A7 on it because it's got an adjustable centre pin, but then it went in a little bit more. Bear in mind, at this point I can't use A7 because it was flush with the silicone at the bottom. It was pushing the centre pin down through the mod. Then it actually made connection with the negative post in the mod, which basically meant the Vamo was working perfectly. The only issue is it was registering no ohmage because the connection was just a solid connection. It was a true connection, therefore it wouldn't fire anything. So that then led to having to take the Vamo apart to sort this out.
Take 3?
I think it's 3 or 4 now. But whilst I was there, I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll get some self-etching primer, make sure it's all proper primered up, paint it again, and that went well, really well. Actually, looked the bollocks.
The finish on it was so smooth; it was unbelievable. It looked amazing. It was a nice matte black. It was
up until this morning. It was perfect. I should point out that I only put it back together last night. Should we get back? Shall I start with putting it back on together? Well, basically, anyway, I had to solder the positive post back on. I broke the connection to paint it. Okay, between the chipsets, so I had no chipset to worry about. I then had to solder the negative and the positive back on, and after the first time with the solder, I considered myself to be quite a G, and there was no problems with that. Okay, I then used my Vulcan Def Grip to push the top back on, which again went absolutely fantastically. Using it all last night, no problem. Out and about today at work and stuff, just doing my normal usage, not overusing it and stuff. Turns out that although self-etching primer is pretty much the only thing that's going to make paint stick to brass, because brass is non-porous, therefore the paint don't want to stick to it. So you get some self-etching primer on it, get the body bumpy, and then paint the primer. Therefore, problem solved. Not so much. You might be able to see that there's a nice brass switch there, and there's some damage around the back here.
A lot of it is sticking.
A lot of it is sticking purely because I probably haven't wiped it off yet. Don't get me wrong, I do this and no paint's coming off. I'm saying that there, it does feel pretty good there. Maybe I should have primed it more. I only give it 2 coats of primer, but there was no brass visible through the primer, so I shouldn't have had to prime it more. There could be a take 4 coming on the cards, I don't know what's going on anymore. I actually toyed with the idea of actually getting this carbon fibre dipped just to save all the fucking problem. Get them to paint it and dip it, and then the paint can't go anywhere. Expensive, about 30-40 quid to do that. Could just buy a stainless steel Vamo. I don't know.
You could just buy a chrome one for £27.
I don't want chrome. Because that way, if stuff does start to go wrong, it's stainless steel. I can paint stainless steel. Da-da. So, yeah. We don't know. But the Vamo was wicked for, well, once I put it all back together, and then by about 9:30 this morning, it was coming off. So 12 hours.
I would like to also point that he missed out a part when he was putting in that centre pin. He may have poured in like half a tub of super glue.
No. What we did basically, come back here to Worms, adjusted the centre pin, figured it out, whatever else, and I thought, you know what, I am not having this issue again. Next time the Vamo centre pin, or if it ever happens again, I'm just going to cut the thing off and turn it into a box mod. That was my kind of plan. That still is my plan. If something goes wrong with the Vamo again, I'm just going to take the chips out and use it in a box mod. So, I got it in position. It weren't moving anywhere, but I thought, best be safe than sorry. So I went and liberated some super glue off Worm, and I put about 2mm pour of super glue in the underside of the connection. On the upside, that pin is holding fine. The A7, even the A7, will not push that bastard back through. The slight downside, the very slight downside that I had hoped Worm wasn't going to notice this morning when I noticed it, but being the eagle-eyed beaver that he is, and the fact that I quite happily hand in my mod without thinking with my atty on, there is a slight leaning Tower of Pisa issue. So I don't doubt that within the next month this probably is going to be a box mod. I'll put some LEDs and stuff on it, but it still works. So I class that as a win.
No, it's working, isn't it?
Yes.
It works on his DDAs, his Novas, everything.
Vamo for the win. So I do want to say on the Vamo, does seem to be a very resilient mod. As long as you're a bit tech savvy, you can pretty much do anything to it. And I have.
And got a half decent solder.
Yeah, well, solder and iron and a bit of solder. But that's kind of the A7 Vamo update. I do still love the A7. I just wish they put a solid pin in it. I don't know why they didn't. I think it's a selling point, and adjustable centre pin. Maybe if the centre pin was tighter. Maybe if there's some way to lock it. Maybe if...
Just tight, I think, would be enough. Just so maybe if you got to get, like, I know, some sort of, like, little screwdriver, like a little flathead, just to twist it. Just so it's...
Either that, or maybe even if it was spring loaded. So I am a genius. I'm going to do that. I might put a spring behind it, and that way it will force against the screw threads, so it'll hold it there, so it won't turn easy.
Yeah.
So there you go. I may have just solved that issue. My dear fucking God, why didn't I think of this before I broke my Vamo? Yeah, so okay, I might do that. I might put a little spring behind it, a little tension spring, and see what happens. I'll let you know what happens on that. So although it's an update video, we now have something else to update you on. So yeah, but basically that was the A7 Vamo fiasco. Worm is very sceptical about putting his A7 on his Bravari. I don't know. Why are you going to stop the video, Minch?
Well, I'm getting ready because obviously we've done everything.
We haven't, have we? That, and that.
Oh, Gordon Bennett. I've got loads to do.
There's still a bit to do. Honest, eager beaver.
God, this is like going to be like 3 hours long.
I think it's only about 2.5 hours so far. So, but yeah, that is the A7 fiasco. Buy one at your own risk. It's a fantastic atty. Just beware when you put it on your device.
I've got a Zeus coming.
It's got the same features, so we are going to compare, because we did have a thought maybe mine's just a bit of a dodgy centre pin. We don't know. We haven't got a clue. We've never had anything with an adjustable centre pin. It stands to reason to me that it's meant to be fairly loosey-goosey, because...
I'd say it's got to be fairly loosey, but it's got to be a bit tighter than that, surely.
We'll find
Hopefully they're one, because it's their own brand, maybe they made it a bit tighter. Maybe they put a spring in it.
We'll see. Obviously, if the Zeus does turn out to be better than this, then I'll just buy a Zeus, so the body and all this will be fine. The only problem is it'll be the screw. I may even contact them and say...
Pisa effect.
It's not so much of an issue, but I may even contact them and say if Worm's Zeus is tight, I may say, look, I've got an A7 and the screw's probably dodgy. I'm going to order a Zeus anyway, fancy chucking in an extra screw for us, and seeing how good their customer service is.
Well, we'll try my Zeus screw on yours and see if it's any tighter.
Well, we'll see your Zeus straight away whether it's tighter or not, won't we?
Well, no, but my screw...
Oh, yeah, no, I know that, but in your Zeus, if it's tighter, then we'll try it in here. So
yeah.
That's the reason if it's tighter, it can work a bit better. So that's kind of where we are on that. Right, what have we got left to do?
Dan's flavours.
The re-up on Dan's flavours. They are here. We have been using them. I am actually using the Forest Fruits right now. The Forest Fruits has got stronger, which is good for me. I'm quite enjoying this, to be honest with you.
I don't really like the Forest Fruits.
But
Just that's my personal taste.
Yeah, I can.
Don't get me wrong, the flavour comes through banging. It's nice. Like the amount of flavour you get off it is nice, but it's just not a flavour I particularly like. So it's just one of them. It's just.
But
I'll tell you as well, if you're into Forest Fruits, it's a banging flavour.
It's a nice flavour. It's a good flavour. They mixed them really well. The strawberry menthol we tried last night, and the strawberry's got stronger. Like Dan said, it was after the video. Dan said if you let it steep longer, the strawberry will get stronger. It has. It is now even better. But yeah, just all round, the flavours are good still.
We haven't tried the vanilla custard yet.
We haven't tried the vanilla custard yet, but the vanilla custard's only going to.
The vanilla custard, as standard, was nice as it was. So if it's got any stronger, that's even better.
Probably would have got stronger, but it would have got stronger equally.
Pass it over. I'll start drinking it in a minute.
We'll drink it nice and flapping a bit.
Yeah.
See how we go. But yeah, basically, the re-up on Dan's juices, they're still wicked, still really good what you did, Dan. Still going to get a goodie bag one day. That day would have been posted today, but we've had basically a lot of people say, can you do us some liquid, and we've now got no nicotine. So it is coming, Dan, I promise.
It's going to be a nice goodie bag for you, mate. It's worth the wait.
Yeah, it will be worth the wait. But that way. That's saying that
we said to him the other night, he's going to send down his dual core.
No, don't say what it is, you mange. You're going to ruin.
What's dual core?
It's dual core something. It's a very, very new product. In fact, we was going to buy one ourselves, and Dan said, "You know what? I'll send you mine. Save you buying it."
And we're going to send the goodie bag back up with it,
and we'll send it back up with the goodie bag. So, week or two. But that is where we are with Dan's liquids. They're still wicked. Whilst we're on liquids, what I was going to say was about steeping. You know, we've said before, steeping in hot water speeds up the steaming process. That's true. What we have learned more recently, we've mentioned a couple of videos since we've learned it, which haven't made a point of saying that we've found this out. We've kind of had an inkling anyway, but we've just never really been bothered about it, but we didn't realise how much of a difference it could make. The steeping process, if once you've steeped it in hot water for a couple of hours, given it a load of good shakes and stuff, if you stick it in a drawer, cupboard, shoebox, somewhere dark, they steep better in the dark. Realistically, I haven't side-by-sided these, neither. Well, we haven't side-by-sided these, so we don't know how vast the difference is, but we just know it's better in the dark, okay? Take that as you will. I do want to say, up until a week or two ago, we wasn't sleeping in the dark, and there was nothing ever wrong with the liquids. But
I would like to say I've got a massive blind in my room that is pretty much permanently at least halfway down all the time. So there's never like a lot of bright sunlight in my room, because my TV is actually on the window side of the wall. When you've got the light coming in on your eyes, you can't really see the TV enough. So I always have it at least halfway down anyway. So
that's an excuse of a Herbert. But
I'm a vampire.
A vampire. But yeah, basically, so in future, unless you're going to use them straight away, steep them in the dark. Just let us know if you're mixing the same liquid consistently. Let us know whether it makes a good difference to you, or a big difference to you. Yeah, so let us know how you're getting on with it. Whilst we're saying let us know how you're getting on with it, in general, guys, let us know if you're watching our videos and they've been helpful. Let us know. Let us know how you're getting on. Let us know what
your progression you've made.
Yeah, let us know what progression you've made. We do speak to quite a few subs regularly.
You can hit us up on Skype as well. Mine is Kamikaze Worm, KAMAKAZEE, so it's more like Kamikaze, and then _Worm.
And mine is Mr. Proton 19, same as my YouTube channel name, MRPROTON 19, all lowercase. So you'll see me like this, vaping. So yeah, basically, if you're more than welcome to have something there, but just generally let us know how you're getting on the comments, or on Skype or whatever, how you want to do it. And we always appreciate people who comment on our videos. So just it's nice to see that people are sort of generally taking an interest, and it kind of helps us decide, or helps us decipher what people are actually taking from the videos if you leave in comments, and also it helps other people who are watching the videos once they read the comments. So yeah, it's just a win-win for us if you do both, but if not, you're more than welcome to do either, or
none.
Yeah, it's up to you. Basically, we've got another couple of sections, like so we're going to do a couple of other videos in a minute. We just made a massive list of things we said we'd update. A couple of things are going to be more in depth, they're going to be single videos, which we'll do in a minute. Our last section in terms of updates are preferred sites and stuff that's happened with sites. We've kind of covered Liberty. I don't think we need to do Liberty.
No, I don't.
And then something else. We might as well shout out a first site, and I'll say one you don't say.
Pink Mule. Banging so far. We have had no problems with them. Obviously, you're expecting a little bit later on delivery.
It was only 4 days though, wasn't it?
Other than that, everything we've got from them so far is a banging
product, and they have got a lot of products.
Oh yeah,
lots.
This is one of the most packed sites I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff. The translation into English isn't spectacular, but it's more than good enough for you to know exactly what's being said. But as opposed to vapor, it will say steamer, and now and again you may have to guess what word it is because the translation's a bit iffy. But they have got something there that says that you can help them translate by saying this should actually be this, and I'm guessing they use that, which is why the translation is so good. And they've got so many language options.
They use Google Translate, so
and they update it obviously. Whilst we're on Pink Mule, they have that was what I was going to say. Basically, we mentioned when we was talking about all the mechanical mods and loads of Circle Week about their shipping charges. Basically, their standard shipping charge is about 5 or 6 quid for first class, or 11 or 12 quid for tracked. We actually ordered from about 3 or 4 days ago. Waiting for delivery now. Guessing it's Monday.
Tuesday.
But don't say that, you Jew. But basically, they changed their shipping supplier. It's now GLS. Comes on GLS Zone 4 for us. Now, we've done a bit of research, and basically GLS are a good company over in Spain and Europe. They strive for 1 to 4 day delivery, but don't deliver Monday to Friday, which I'm guessing why we haven't got it today, which is why I think it's going to be Monday. Because today's Saturday, obviously, guys, if you obviously you're going to be watching this straight away. Their shipping charges are now less. The shipping charges are now the same price as their standard first class, but that's all it is. It doesn't write. It's no longer done by weight. It's done by box size. So you could, if they can ram it all in a small box and ship it, they will do. It's going to cost you 6 quid, which, to be honest with you guys, it's like £2 more than first class is in the UK from a lot of sites. So I think that's pretty good. I don't know what the rates go up to. I didn't manage to build a package big enough in the brief time that I spent trying to exceed that. But I mean, we did order what we ordered recently, not too big a boxes. We ordered like 10 meters of wick and Mech Mod, your Zeus.
That's it.
That was it.
Yeah,
but I imagine there'll be some packing foam and stuff in there as well. And that was the £5 delivery. And their products are cheap. They're the same product, but they're cheaper. The Kangen Pro Tank, tenner. The A7 was 14 quid. The Zeus you got was 11 quid. The e-cig is like 60 quid as opposed to the 80 it is in the UK.
So it's 90 on
some site.
Yeah, it's
90
on another site.
There's something else I thought.
Totally Wicked.
It's Totally Wicked.
Yeah, it's Totally Wicked is 90 quid.
The Inikin iTaste STV is actually £57 from there, which is a lot
80 quid.
cheaper. 80 quid on UK e-cigs?
Yeah, UK e-cigs.
No, you say e-cigs. Is it
UK dash
store?
e-cigs.
Or is it not the store? We're not UK e-cig, wherever we mentioned from the provider, to go for the Bavarian kit.
If you go onto my main channel, it's got a section where it says links. It's in there.
Yeah. But there it's 80 quid, and that comes with 2 eye clears as well. So take out the cost of the eye clears, it's kind of like 40 quid mod, and it's worth a lot more than 40 quid.
Basically what you pay for a Vamo.
It is what I pay for a Vamo. Given the choice, I would have still bought the Vamo.
Yes.
But that's more my style preference. But the iTaste is telescopic. So
next slide.
yes, I think I'm going to shout out vape. No, I'm not. What's it called? The Vaping Volt. The Vaping Volt. Cheap Vamo, Worms is 28. A couple of people down to 27.
Batteries are cheap.
Batteries are cheap, just all round good stuff. I do want to say as well about the Vaping Volt. Mind Rover, hello mate. I'm actually just received a Skype message from you. I don't know what you're saying. I'm busy doing a video gig, so if you're on them, I'm not replying. This is why. Basically, Mind Rover compiled a basket. He's an English or British bloke, expat who lives in Switzerland. Okay. He ordered compiled a basket, and obviously the Vamo for 27 quid or 28 quid that weren't good for, plus like 5 or 6 quid delivery was really cheap. He compiled a basket of some Novas. He mainly uses 808 stuff. He's moving on to the 510 to give it a go after watching a few other videos. Anyway, enough on Mind Rover. Compiled a basket, and shipping to Switzerland came through at £30. Okay. He wasn't best impressed, but he worked out that he was still saving money by doing it this way. So I was like, okay, fair enough. Didn't know about how expensive shipping was going to be. Obviously, they class it as shipping outside the EU, so that'd be like to America and stuff. EU shipping is 15 quid, and then obviously standard UK shipping. Anyway, we was having a chat with him last night. Myself and was it last night or the night before last? Myself and I was having a video chat with him on Skype, just having a look at some devices and having just a general chinwag. And he mentioned it to me then, and I said, "What's your order number?" And he told me his order number. So I thought, do you know what? He tried to communicate with him a few times. He doesn't really use Facebook. These sites do hate it when you go on their Facebook and brand it on their wall, okay? Because obviously people look on Facebook and it's very, very visible. So I went on Facebook and I just look, basically got because he asked a couple of questions and had no reply. So they've got a friend in Switzerland who's made an order with you. No real update about his order, and the ones that have been a bit sketchy. He asked you some questions, not received a reply from you. He's quite dissatisfied so far as a customer. He hasn't even received these products yet. Obviously, I'm a bit dissatisfied as a person who's recommended him. Contact me ASAP. Within 5 minutes, Vaping Vault had got back to me. They'd taken a look at his details, and that Facebook post from me and then my Road also commented it after it was resolved. I'm guessing in a bed. Basically, what they've done is they've now added Switzerland to the EU postage, so it's now £15 and not £30. It's half that, and they instantly refunded my Rover straight into his PayPal account, 15 quid, which was the 15 quid additional postage they charged. They were explicitly sorry and hoped that this made up for any cock-ups. And they said in regards to messages being unreplied to, they haven't received them. He said he'd emailed them directly. I don't know. If you're using a site and you say contact us via email, not very little chance you're not going to get them, unless maybe they're going into their spam folder. I don't know. Couldn't say that. That's possible. It happens with some of Worm's orders from Vaporscape. They go straight to spam. So I'm not saying they did receive his. My
emails. Confirmation of my order seems to go into my normal folder, but when it says my tracking number and all that kind of stuff, it's going to spam. I don't know.
No reason, no idea why. But we're not saying they did or didn't receive these emails. It does seem to me that they are very eager to please. They've always responded to my emails, so there is a possibility that they have gone into spam. I don't know. I'm not trying to excuse or stand up for them or discredit them.
But I think that they've backed up the money that.
But the fact that they've added Switzerland to their EU postage and the fact they instantly went, okay, that's now done. Bear in mind, they knew it wasn't even my order. They knew it was just, I said, a friend of mine, give them his order number. They went, right, we'll pay it back into his PayPal account. We've added Switzerland to the EU. Obviously, he's happier because that 70 quid order's now 55. He's heard from them. So just in general, they're cheap. They're very good. And I think that bit of customer service, although it was a negative to start with, kind of became a positive because I think all around people were a bit happier with the result and the fact that they've gone, yeah, okay, we've cropped up, we've changed our site method for for postage into Switzerland, and we've also refunded him. And that happened in.
Is this a site that is opening a shop at the moment?
Yes, yeah, they
are.
So
it might be a little bit of a cock up where they are a little bit busy. It's not excusable.
No,
but it is understandable.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. It's not excusable. Customers do come first, and that is one thing I said to them. And they said to me, our customers do come first, and they do seem to. Okay.
But like you say, if they are moving to the one, it has gone into the spam. I think it could have just been a miscommunication.
Store. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure.
So they're probably a lot focused on it. Probably a little bit more than they should be. They should be focused on the customers at the same time. But
you've only got
excitement and emotions run, and if you're focused on opening a business, you're going to be properly focused on it because it is a lot of money you put into it.
As customers, we are all impatient. People in general are impatient. I'm one of the worst for this. Customers are impatient. I've been in my mother's position where waiting for something and not really hearing as much as I'd like to, and I'm the first to go and tap them up. In fact, it wasn't even my order, and I was the first to go and tap them up about it. I do like to get shit resolved, and I want stuff done. And it's far more annoying as a customer for them to go, this, that, and the other. We're doing this, come up with a load of excuses, blah 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 blah, and nothing's resolved. They said, look, we're sorry, we didn't get your emails, we would have responded had we done straight away, like we had to your Facebook post. We have already, they'd already done it by the time they got back to me, which was 5 minutes. We've updated our postal system, blah 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 blah, we refunded your mate his money. We hope that this is now satisfactory to you, and we hope we've helped resolve the issue. In my opinion, yes. I think they have.
If they resolved it in 5 minutes.
You can't really ask more than that. Bear in mind, this was like 10 o'clock at night. It wasn't early, it was 10 o'clock at night, so they're probably indoors after a long day of prepping their new shop, finally having their dinner and a cup of coffee, and they've still done that. So I don't doubt for a second their customers do come first. I think possibility of a very busy opening shop not seeing the email, but I don't know how likely it is. I think it's probably unlikely.
It could be one where they've got like 150 emails, and his was like the first one of the day, and it's just gone to the bottom of the list, and it's just like, how can you get through 150 emails and
move a shop and
open a shop? It's just,
again, not excusable, but understandable. Okay, and in their position, I think we would all be the same. At the end of the day, if you're moving a shop, you're very busy, opening a new business, they've got partner.
The fact of the matter is, when they did finally get like visual evidence of this, they've sorted it out within 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What can you say to them?
Yeah, you can't. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's a thumbs up for the site. The products are good. Well ordered ammo from there. Prompt arrival, cheap delivery charges.
It was like next day. And it wasn't even next day delivery. They come next day, so
you can't really fault them on that. The only thing we could have faulted them on is my Rover's experience. And again, I don't mind. Maybe you can leave a comment on this. I don't doubt you're going to watch this video. Maybe you can leave a comment. Just let us know whether you actually feel like as a customer that issue was resolved. Obviously, I can say I think it was, so can Worm, but we're not the person who actually bought and has had to experience nothing worse than being ignored.
I think he's going to be happy that he's got the money back.
So I think the 15 quid makes up for the fact that he hasn't got messages back. And if you haven't heard from him still and you still got your questions, email him. I mean,
Or Facebook him.
Facebook them. I mean, I know a lot of guys on Facebook, but they do respond quick on their Facebook. I think one of the main reasons is because they're going to get notification pop up straight away. Not all people have their email set to come through straight away. I don't, you do, but I don't. So I have to manually check my emails because I prefer to, as my phone's constantly going beep, 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 and it just annoys me. So it's one of them things. I think this should resolve.
Next site.
Big up the site for that.
Yeah, next site. I'm going to say House of Mods because it's one that I've personally used.
You do like that?
Mate, House of Mods, I mean...
They were very cool.
The fact that I did have to wait for my e-Baron because unfortunately it was out of stock and so many people ordered at the same time. One of those things happens. Sites don't update as quickly as sometimes they should be. It's one of those things. I mean, but the fact that they sent me through an $11.95 worth of 580s replaceable atomizers already coiled with the cup, basically free of charge until I wanted to pay them. What can you say to that?
There's not a lot you can say.
There isn't. It's just like, Jesus Christ, I will be
It's
back.
not financially as a business, it's not a good position to put yourself in. But as customers, especially seeing as first time buying customers and customers who had waited for a mod, and obviously Worm has more patience than me. Buy this, but I'm like, but he was like, do you know what? It is quite a special dripper. It is something that's made in Greece. It is something that's going to have to be brought over. It is something people are going to have to wait for. You kind of
It's
took
always
that
sold
with a
out
pinch
again.
of salt. There you go. You take it with a pinch of salt and went, I'm prepared to wait because I think it's going to be the dog's what's it's.
Yeah, because they even asked me when they emailed me literally straight away afterwards saying, unfortunately, your order was at the bottom of the thing. A couple of people are going to be disappointed that they ain't going to get their one. They've already cancelled their order. Would you also like a refund now until they come back into stock? I said no. Keep my money. Send me it out first when it comes in, and they did. With atomizers that I've been speaking about
straight away, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
We've got new. They said we've got new atomizers in. Forgot to mention to him that his Baron was there.
Yeah.
His answer was like, I want the Baron. I can live without the atomizer for a couple of days. And oh yeah, by the way, that's in as well. We're going to post that. We have already posted it basically. Oh yeah, by the way, we know you said you wanted some heads. They're in there too. Pay us when you feel like it. All right, mate. You know what I mean? Just as a way to be introduced to the company, spectacular. I don't think, in terms of initial impression, not so much of what's on the site because it's very limited. There's very few things on the site.
Like,
probably 20 products in total, if you're including lanyards.
and there's like 8 of them
lanyards.
Drip tips.
Yeah, they are made for these Barons though.
Yeah, they are made for these.
I don't know if they're universal. They
They're
are
double-
510, but they're double O-rings.
Double O-rings.
So I don't know if they're universal because the reason they got double O-rings is because you've got such a big column to stick in. So they are made by Leo as well. So we don't know about the drip tips. You were looking at buying one, weren't you?
Yeah,
so
I'm
you probably
looking
end up buying one when he gets his next.
I'll probably buy the bullet
is.
one.
There you go. The bullet one, it does look good. So as you will, take it as you will. But as a way to be introduced to the site, I don't think there's a way to have been more impressed by customer service. Initial impressions anyway, and the fact that they were constantly communicating with you
And throwing stock on me before I even paid. That's the most thing I'm so impressed with.
Wicked site. Again, what more can you say is just, you know, this guys, if you watch the brand video, you know what kind of impression that gave on us. It was a very, very, very good impression. Again, it's a shame that they don't sell more stuff, because if they did, we'd buy more stuff from them. Obviously, there's only so many spirals, e-barons and killer tanks you can buy before you've got one of each and you don't need any more. So House of Mods, if you can keep your quality that high and get more products in, even at the prices they are, you'll get more customers from us.
I'd love to buy a rebuildable from them. A custom rebuildable.
Wicked.
It's going to be banging.
You never know, Liam might be working on it. But
maybe, yeah.
We'll see what happens with that. My next site, Charlie's Vape Shop. Charlie's Vape Shop is the next one for me. Incredibly cheap for the same
amazing
product.
kits as well for their
amazing
mods.
priced kits, I think. Because I mean Dan, hello Dan, the one who sent us down the liquids, he bought the stainless steel ammo from kit, $53.99 I think it is, 2 C4s, 2 batteries, charger, presentation gift box, and for once a instructions manual, which you don't get when you buy the van on its own from anywhere.
Nope.
All of that stuff, 53 quid, so probably he paid next day delivery, so 60 quid all in. I do want to point out that when I bought mine, I did get one more battery and a slightly better charger, but only fractionally better. But I had no gift box, no instruction manual, no CE4s, and I paid 20 quid more. So, and I didn't get the stainless steel one.
It's also the shop where I got my snake drip tip from. That was cool. I do like it. I don't use it so much, but I do like it. It looks pretty funky on some of my
As
devices.
a small shop, they've got a lot of stuff.
Yes.
compared to shops that are similar sized.
They've got quite a lot of rebuildables as well.
They have got a lot of
I think there's like 9 rebuildables on there, which is, from what we've seen, most sites normally have like 3 or 4 rebuildables.
Pinkmill have got about 20, but
yeah,
again, we said they've got a lot of shit on there.
That's like an advanced, they must be...
They are a very, very established business.
Yeah.
They're
a lot like American companies, they do have a lot on them.
Yeah, they get a lot of what American companies do. Notice that there's products on that we haven't even heard of. Check the American sites and they're only just reaching them, so they've obviously just got them in and they update very quickly. But with Charlie's Vape Shop, they've just got the same product at ridiculously cheap prices. I mean, the Vamo is still cheap on there. The kit, if you're going to buy a kit, a Vamo kit, need batteries and everything, I still recommend Charlie's Vape Shop. I know Vaping Vault is... I suppose you could buy a charger, but the charger's like 15 quid from Vaping Vault. The batteries are like a £5 or £4.50 for 280 350s. You get 280 350s from Charlie's Vape Shop. So to build a comparable kit on Vaping Vault, on the standard Vamo, it's going to cost you more. The fact it's a stainless steel Vamo, and that is typically a tenner more, 5 or 10 quid more, same price as the black chrome one that I had. I've still got, it's just not black chrome anymore, it's just black and brass.
Black and brass.
Black and brass. But to build a comparable kit on even on the Vaping Vault using their discount code, which you don't get from Charlie, it's still going to cost you more and that's if you include delivery on Charlie's and not on Vaping Vault. So
again, Charlie's was next day delivery as well.
Yeah, very, very good site. Very good site. They were prompt on dispatch. They arrived promptly. It arrived in perfect condition.
It seems like a lot of these sites are like in the UK. So no matter where you're going, from Scotland or pretty much Dorset, you're going to be fine for next day delivery.
Yeah, but Charlie's Vape Shop is another good shop.
All right. I suppose it's going to have to be Vaperscape. It's the only other one we've really ordered from regularly. I mean, a lot. I've spent a lot of money on there. It's where I got my Provider from. It's where I bought my sister's 2 batteries from. It's where I bought countless amount of STV Novas. One for my sister each. 2 for myself.
I bought a couple. Vaperscape were just again a very good site.
Another one with customer services as well, because when I ordered my Provider, I forgot to put special delivery on, and they won't deliver it without special delivery. They were going to call me up literally 5 seconds before I called them, because I realised as soon as I put in the order, fuck, I forgot to fucking put special delivery on. Boop, 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 find their number. Oh, Mr. Mark, I was just about to call you.
So, there you go.
They took the payment over the phone as well, which a lot of sites do prefer PayPal, but these ones did do it over the phone for me. Done job.
I mean, we have recommended, and we still do recommend Vaperscape hard, because it's a good site in general. It's just a good site. They're fairly competitively priced if you compare them. I mean, because their site is a lot better designed than some of the smaller guys' sites. Not that the other sites aren't well designed. It's just you get a different impression when navigating them.
Especially I think the main thing with navigating is when you pick an item, down below you have recommended items that you need to buy with it.
I think the main comparison for Vaperscape is Liberty and Totally Wicked. Liberty have had their issues, but they have been good as well. I don't want to say they've been bad because they're not. Liberty is still a good site. Vaperscape, compared to Totally Wicked, sell everything that Totally Wicked sell, apart from Totally Wicked's branded stuff, which isn't as good as the mods and stuff, like their own Vape mods that are crap. I kind of want to take that back, so I didn't mean to say that, but they are.
For their price, they are.
And they are expensive. Something comparable to the Vamo, probably not even as good as the Vamo, it's like 90 quid.
Yeah.
And it's not adjustable in terms of battery configuration, and it does vape in watts. I take that back.
I think their one only goes up to 5 volts. Doesn't go up to 6.
No, that's the small one. The big one does go up to 6. The 90 quid one goes up to 6. Only talking about like the 50 quid one.
Oh well.
The one that Dan bought.
It's still 50 quid, which is still, if you go to
it takes
Vaping
a
Vault,
1400 battery, was it? Dan said.
Yeah, something like that.
Dan, subscriber Dan sent us the liquids. He was using kite tanks. He said he ran it out in like an hour, compared to a spinner that would last him all day. So if it's not as good as a spinner, it's definitely not worth twice the price, is it? The screen doesn't make that much difference. But
another update as well. My broken one, it's fixed.
We are becoming beasts at repairing stuff.
We took this apart. We found out that we could have done this a lot easier than we could have. But
we know how it works.
We now soldered everything. We pretty much took the negative, or we snapped the negative, resoldered that, resoldered the positive post, pushed it back down. Job's a good one.
Job's a good one, and it works lovely jubbly.
Just need a charger now.
Yeah, unfortunately, when he sold his other spinner, sold the charger that went with it.
Well, it was broken. I didn't expect to be fixing it anytime soon. So
Worm now has a spinner, fully operational 1300 mile spinner with no charger.
But my sister comes down all the time. She's got one. She can bring it with her.
There you go.
It's only there for backup anyway.
So yeah, charging one's probably not ever going to
I
need to
have
use it.
Provari and Vamo.
I can't remember where I was going to go. Oh, Vapescape, sorry, yeah. Like I say, they are comparable to Totally Wicked. They don't sell quite as many flavours e-liquids, but they do have more companies that sell them. You can get decaying e-liquids on there for about £9 for a 30ml bottle. You can get Decadent Vapors and you can get Griswolds. There's a lot of liquids on there, so good for liquids. They do sell Decadent Vapors flavours. They don't sell wire, wick and mesh. Pretty much the only thing that site's missing. They do seem up to date with all the new products because
The bottles are good.
Bottles are good. Totally Wicked had some.
That's where we bought our syringes from as well, wasn't it?
No, we bought them from Liberty.
The first ones. That's where we bought them from there.
Liberty.
They're exactly the same, aren't they?
They're going to be essentially syringes.
We looked at the two pieces and they are exactly the same.
But what was I going to say about fucking Vapescape now? Oh yeah, Totally Wicked have got some brand new products in. Vapescape have also got them.
It's got one version of them.
Yes, Totally Wicked have got 4 new products. We're not going to go into them. You can have a look yourself if you want to.
They're basically bottom coiled Kangas.
Yeah, Kanga-ish, but they're not. They've also got a couple of others. They've got a Genesis.
It's from vape only, isn't it? It's Kanga.
Yeah. Well, the Totally Wicked ones aren't branded as vape only just because they look exactly the same. Doesn't
No,
mean
it's
they're
probably
the same.
Totally Wicked have tweaked it to their own design.
But then it may work better. We're not saying the vape only ones don't work that well. So whatever, if you want to try it, give it a go.
We'll also say about Totally Wicked that even though they are more expensive, their like tanks and stuff do seem to be better. They don't seem to sell
as good as Liberty's.
Yeah, but they don't sell anything that doesn't work.
And we can't say about
Novas. They didn't leak, did they? Or any of that
to
stuff?
be honest with you, I don't think the STVs from Totally Wicked and the STVs from Vaporscape exactly the same. Exactly the same. It's just they got a devil one and they charge you £4 and 4p more for them. Whilst we're on Vaporscape, actually, bought some. Well, I didn't, but a friend of mine, starting vaping, bought some pass-throughs, 1000ml pass-throughs. They are the upgraded ones, which basically means as opposed to running 3.7 volts standard, they've upgraded it so it's got the light indication, white, sky blue, dark blue for 100 or over 50, under 50 and under 10. They've also got, as opposed to running 3.7 standard, they're on 3.3 standard. Turn it off, hold it for 5 seconds, the light goes orange. It now runs 4.15 volts. And that battery will like a mechanical mod, drop off the length of the life of that battery. It will go from 4.15 to 3.6. Personally, 1.8 out of your head, run it at orange all day long. That's what I would do. But the pass-throughs are like 17 quid, lovely stuff. On to Totally Wicked. I do want to recommend Totally Wicked. It's where I started. It's where a lot of guys start. It's one of the first sites you find when you search for e-cigs. It's one of the first I found.
It is probably the biggest.
They're meant to be market leaders.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of what they've got on there, they've got a bit of everything. A bit. Okay, they've only just branched into rebuildables. Literally 2 days before we posted the DDA video, that was their first rebuildable. It was dripping at me, and they're not calling it a rebuildable. Oh, that's under the rebuildable section. You're meant to buy cores from. There's no part of rebuilding that apart from putting 2 wires in and twisting them, right? Unless you rebuild your own like we do. They have added the Nova Genesis style tank thing that we was going to buy before reading reviews. Do want to point out again, it's nearly twice the price. It is on the other site and it looks very fractionally different, but it will perform exactly the same. I wouldn't bother with that. But they have got a lot of stuff, but they don't have a lot of the new stuff. They haven't got the Pro Tank or anything like that, purely because they can't label it Totally Wicked. So Totally Wicked, if you're after things like Novas and V3s and all this kind of gear, then yeah, they're good. They're expensive, and their liquid's good. But their liquids is where they make their money. Same as most sites, the liquids are where you make your money on it.
We haven't actually tried. We haven't tried their pre-mades, have we?
Yes.
Did you try the pre-mades?
Pre-mades, yeah. I tried their Titan Vanilla, tried their Lemon, tried their something else as well.
Not, yeah, that's their outsourced one. Even though they're part of.
Oh no, we haven't tried their ones. We're only buying 30 bottles. They're 18 quid a bottle ones. And to be honest with you, I don't care. I will not pay £18 a bottle for a liquid.
But they are meant to be banging.
They may be, but it is bending you over and fucking you with a flaming fist. Honestly, alright? That £18 for a bottle of e-liquid is a joke, alright? I don't care how good it is. Orange and Mango, I don't think they would even equal that. Alright? I don't care how good, I don't think they equal Orange and Mango and Aboriginal Raspberry. I just don't. Yes, you get a glass bottle. Yes, you get a pipette with everyone. I'm sorry, for me, that's a downside. If I have to pipette it in, that's designed for cartos. Try and fill a Nova with a fucking pipette that's glass and wide. Do it. Fuck off. Honestly. It'll take me half hour and you can't carry it around with you, alright? It's just, no, Totally Wicked. too much, too expensive. Even their Titan ones, which aren't great, are 13 quid a bottle. Go on to Vaporscape. You can get some Decadent Vapors liquid for about 12 quid. Sorry guys. You can get some Griswolds for about 14 quid. I think their Decang's like 9 quid.
What was the other site? I can't remember this other site, but there is another site that I found, and they basically do £10 for a 30ml bottle. But if you order more than one, they go down to £6.
But then I think you've got to customise them more. But you can ask them to. The problem with that site is you don't know where they're made.
We haven't been there yet.
Right. It's like we haven't ordered from there, but honestly, they do cheap e-liquid. There's a problem with cheap e-liquid, right? This, I know I'm just complaining about expensive e-liquid, but you can get UK sourced e-liquid that isn't expensive. Problem with cheap e-liquid is the nicotine stuff traditionally is from China. So are the diluters, so are the flavours, they're not that good. They will do, I think it's 10 quid, did you say, for one bottle? And if you order more than two, I think it's £6 a bottle. So ridiculously cheap. And they give you the options for each thing. So you get your standard flavour where it's, say, you're going strawberry. You then got options to double or triple shot that with flavour. So if you ordered it and it wasn't strong enough, you can add twice the amount of flavour, 50p more, 3 times the amount of flavour, £1 more. You can add menthol, 50p. So you can customise these pre-made e-liquids.
I think there's even like 70-30 PG, 70-30 VG and 50-50.
And then on the opposites, yeah. So yeah, in theory, that is a wicked site. We haven't ordered from there, we don't know what the liquids are like. But, and it is a big but for me,
we don't know
issues.
We don't know what the site is for.
Well, no, we don't have the site's reliable, we don't know what it is, but we have got it saved in your favourites. 2 issues for me. One, it sounds like it's all going to be China sourced, and the quality just isn't there. Alright, it just isn't. Titan liquids are China sourced, but they are all thoroughly checked. 2, and what my main issue is, because there's a lot of China sourced liquids out there, I don't know where this liquid's mixed. This could be mixed in a lab, like it should be. Sterile environment, using new syringes and new pipettes and new everything else, new bottles every time. This could be mixed in Dave's front room, on a coffee table, right?
Like we do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we do that, but we're vaping it, right? It's as simple as that. The people that ask us to make them e-liquids, they know that we use new stuff every time. They know that our stuff is always clean, and they know what our liquids taste like. They've also seen where they're made, okay? They're quite happy. We use a clean table, we get down, we sit down, we mix, we steep, they go away, alright? It's not like we're sat here with dogs and cats and babies flying around everywhere, right? It's not how we do it.
It's not, I wouldn't say it's a complete sterile room or anything, but it is a sterile area.
Right, yeah, sterile environment, they're all mixed in, we mix them all up, and there's no issue. I don't know who's making this. I don't know if they're wearing gloves or not. I mean, yeah, if they're not wearing gloves, it's them you want to worry about more than you. But I don't want fingernails in my liquid. And I'm sorry, but and I know from like Vaporscape and all this kind of, you don't get pictures of where their liquids are made. You don't. But they are made by reputable companies that are selling on hundreds and hundreds of sites. They are going to have been tested. We don't know if these liquids have been tested for dangerousness. And the thing is, we're using DIY e-liquids making stuff, right? We use PG, VG, nicotine solutions made for DIY liquids. We use flavourings made for e-liquids. Okay, so we might one day get them tested just because we can, alright? Never know, we might start selling them. But
well, guys, we can buy a tested kit.
No, I mean you have to get them past tested, tested. Okay, but there's no reason using all of the ingredients we use that there should be anything that's untoward in our liquids. If we was to get them tested and there was, there'd be some serious fucking repercussions for every business that I buy from, because I would be showing up on their doorstep. Alright. With that, I don't know where they're buying their shit from. It's probably not UK sourced. I don't know if fucking someone in Asia is, I don't know, farting in a bottle. I don't know. Alright, I don't know what people get up to.
Poo particles.
Poo particles. Could be poo crumb in your liquid. I'm not saying that this is the case, alright, but this is a worry of mine, and it should be of yours. Inconsistent e-liquids in an inconsistent environment made by people who don't really know what they're doing, playing with dangerous chemicals, is not something I would take lightly. And at £6 a bottle of juice, by far the cheapest that I've ever found it pre-made. There's going to be a reason.
Back a minute.
No.
Dan's vanilla custard. Banging.
Yeah, let's have a go.
Oh.
So banging, he's just thrown it. Did the top come off?
Yeah.
Dan, your bottles are rubbish.
Buy better bottles. And post first class.
What is this? This should be on the bottle, Dan. Not meant to fall off. Hold on a minute, it's flying over here. But yeah, that's sense very mind with the chippy liquids. I'm going to go this. Any other sites?
I think that's covered all the sites we've used and we would recommend. It's nice, isn't it? That vanilla comes through quite well. It's a bit more tangy than
That's got much better.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shout outs. Obviously,
1 minute, bad. That vanilla hasn't got stronger, it's got weaker. The sweetness, the custard flavour's got stronger. The vanilla stayed the same, but the sweetness has matched it, so now it actually feels like custard. That's nice, Dan. I want some more of that.
Shout outs then. Obviously, we're going to do Dan straight away because obviously we've just done another bit back on his liquids. Hello, Dan.
Big up you, mate.
We know you are. We know where
Goodie
you live.
bag is coming. We know where you live. We also know a bit about you as well. So, hello,
we know what
Dan.
you look like as well.
Yeah, we do. I mean, I do want to point out the reason we do this is that we do like to shout out people that we know are watching our videos. I don't want to call you fans. If you'd like to consider yourself a fan, then please do. All right, we are. I don't want to say honoured, but we're grateful, and flattered.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that if you do consider yourself a fan, that we've got fans.
Mind Rover, I think, is next.
Yes, I think so. Mind Rover deserves a mention. He's been. Well, we've chatted to him quite a lot actually. Like I say, I'm waiting to read the messages that he sent me on Skype now. We've
just through Skype, we've had like what 6-7 hours of
conversations
talking.
in about a week. He's just an interesting guy who kind
Likes to tinker,
as
he would put it.
Likes similar things that we like, and will quite happily talk with us about whatever, predominantly vaping.
He can
but
flap as much as we can
at times. So yeah, it's just again another nice bloke who we've met through this, and who also watches our videos. So we're really grateful to you as well, and we just wanted to make sure that we actually specifically mentioned you, and thank you for doing what you do.
Right, who's that one you said we had?
I want to mention basically.
I want you to say his name.
I'm going to say the full name. All right. I want to mention whilst I'm finding this name, I do want to mention Robbie, who I spoke to earlier. He Skyped me yesterday. He spoke about his e-liquids. I do want to mention Robbie. Robbie, I ain't forgot about you, mate.
Haven't spoke to you yet, Robbie, but I think I've had an email from
him.
him
Well, it
once.
does take a while for him to reply. So Robbie, pick up your phone, mate. Do you know what I mean? You want to mention? Get your phone out. And also Steve as well, because I haven't again spoken to you, but I know that Steve's taken up his DIY liquid making. And this is my words, not his, but now mixing like a boss, because he's sort of mixed it all up. He's tried the raspberry, he tried the blueberry because he's a blueberry fan, and then tried the raspberry on basically and my recommendation was going to try raspberry, and he's tried that and he's loving it. So
which raspberry did he get?
Wicked. He got PA. So again,
you bastard! If you've got a raspberry,
we're coming for you. Right. Right, now, this is all one word, alright? Now, I did speak to this person like 2 days ago on the comments. The name is, I'm going to spell it out, I'm going to say it in a nickname, abbreviated term that I have been, and then what I think it was intended to be. The name is AJEEPANGELVAPES. I've been calling them a Jeep. I don't know if you're male or female Jeep because your pictures are female. Let us know if you watch this video, comment for us. Now I think this is meant to be a Jeep Angel Vapes.
Yeah, I reckon so.
A Jeep Angel Vapes.
What do you call Angel from now?
We can call you Angel, unless in which case you are a male, in which case you can be called
Angel.
Jeep, Vapes, anything you like. Let us know what your preference is. But we are shouting out to you as well. I know that you've ordered yourself a Vamo, and I believe it was, I want to say a DDA. It was a DDA. Where from? Haven't found that out. Let us know. But I do want to shout out to you as well. Obviously, taking some of our advice. They basically asked what they were using.
And thank you for sticking along on this video as well, guys, because this is a mammoth video.
Yeah.
This is going to be, it's got to be close to 2
hours.
It's got to be close to 2, I think.
No, mate, I was on the phone to Steve. Sorry, guys. I was on the phone to Steve at about 8:05. Hi, Steve. Steve doesn't watch these, but hello, Steve. But yeah, Jeep basically ordered Vamo DDA, waiting for that. I'm guessing. I believe in the USA. I'm pretty sure the answer to that was yes when I asked. But I ordered Vamo DDA. I was going to absolutely love it. I believe they said Nova, and I'm saying they loosely because I really am unsure as to whether male or female. Please let me know so I can, well, hit on you if you're female. So sorry, I did not mean that. But,
yes, he did.
No, I didn't. It's just one of the first things that comes to my mind. But yeah, please let me know. So we just so we know basically. But I think they said using a spinner or something
Is
along
there
them
more
lines.
names we've got?
No, lava tube and a Nova. Oh my god, I've got cramp. Oh guys,
Cramp for the win.
I'm so sorry. It's not cramp for the win. It's cramp for the ouch.
I thought there was any other names.
I don't know. I can't think. I'm in some serious pain over here, you prick. Right, okay. Oh, pain's going away. Pain's going away. Pain's going away. So, oh no. Yep, it's good. Sorry guys, this is the worst ending ever. We'll get coming to an end.
We've got another one coming.
We have got one more thing. I don't think I've forgotten to shout anyone out. Please guys, if I forgot to shout you out, let us know.
Yeah, we'll shout out next video.
We do.
I do want to do a shout out to, because I don't know who they are, but in the last 3 days we've had 6 new subscribers. Thank you for joining in our little program chasing the perfect vape.
Yeah.
Circle.
So, obviously all new subs, we are grateful. We do try and make things as friendly as possible. Ask us as many and any questions you want to.
If you're a new subscriber, please drop me a private message saying I'm new. At least that way I know who's new.
Yeah, but no, actually comment, because that way I can say comment. That way people know who's new and we can go hello. But yeah, no, let us know if you're new, if you're watching this. I don't know if you've subscribed, if you're actually going to watch all our videos like a lot of guys seem to do. Someone actually said to us the other day, I love your shows, or they love our shows. These are meant to be YouTube videos, but everyone does seem to be like an episode. So whatever, welcome to the next episode. Films. But yeah, basically just a big shout out to everyone who's new, and more than welcome to Skype, comment, like, rate, subscribe if you already have.
So we'll give our Skypes again, just in case they've skipped past.
Yeah, Skypes again. Mine is Mr. Proton19, same as YouTube name, just all lowercase, MRPROTON19.
Mine is Kamikaze_worm, which is KAMAKAZEE_WORM.
So please feel free to Skype us. Or
I know it's a weird spelling for kamikaze, but that is kamikaze.
If you are watching this video, guys, I know that most of the regulars that we've just shouted out do, but if you could like them for us, it does us a favour, because it makes more people see them, and more people see them, and more hits, so on and so forth. It just means that we're going to be seen by more people, which is obviously
it gives us more sense to buy new stuff as well and test them for you guys.
Yeah.
If you've got anything out there that you think we need to test, let us know. As long as it ain't £150 rebuildable.
Unless it looks really good.
Well, you know what I'm like. If it does look good, I probably would end up buying it. But we're going to end this video off on a bit of a weird note.
Well, it's not a weird note. It's something that we have, well, you more than me have done.
Basically, I got him one day at work. I gave him this sweet. I goes, yeah, try this. It's really nice. He basically stuck it in his mouth and he went, and his face imploded.
It's a sour sweet.
Yeah, his face imploded. It disappeared. He then had another one the other day, which I recorded on my phone.
Sweet is.
But it's basically called that.
Basically, the other morning before work, I think it was Friday morning, he went, I went, can I have one of them sweets? I didn't know what it was, about 8:30 in the morning. He went, yeah, have one. He pulled his camera out, and I was like, this is one of them fucking sweets again. And he's like, yeah, let me record you. So we have got it recorded. If you want to see what I look like at 8:30 in the morning, just before leaving for work, sucking a sour lemon sweet, let us know, we can upload it for you. But Worm likes to do his random item of the day. That is random item of the day.
This is the random item. And we have 2 of them, which are both apple, and we're both going to have one.
Just purely because we can. Now, I haven't seen one eat one of these sweets. I know what I look like when I eat one of these sweets.
I'm going to be trying to hold a straight face for so long it's going to be unbearable.
I can't hold a straight face, just in general. I think I'm going to need to have a drink before this.
I think it's a good idea.
This is nothing to do with vaping, but this is just the kind of thing that we like to do. So yeah, if you want to see the other video of me at 8:30 before work, sucking a sour lemon sweet, let us know, I'll upload it. Ready? I'm going to put out these at apple flavour. Ouch. They are so sour. You can't hold your face. Everyone can look normal when you're doing that.
No, it was hurting my cheeks.
I don't say I don't mind some sour. Oh my god. Oh, some sour things, but my dear fuck,
my eyes are watering.
Your teeth start to hurt.
Oh, mine's gone. Oh,
mine is not. This is so sour. And the thing is, hold on.
Got it?
It's gone. The thing is, they're tricky little bastards, right? Because he got me twice with one sweet, right? I'm not joking. I was walking around the shop with him, where he works as security, late at night, about 9:30 at night. He goes, I have this sweet, and I was like, is it proper sour? He went, no, it's not too bad. So I nearly fell over. I was going up a travelator, and honestly, I couldn't see. My teeth were falling out. My eyes were watering. It was redonkulous. And he goes, I went, oh, it's quite nice now that the sour's worn off. He goes, yeah, it's really good. He goes, they've got a nice sweet, like, liqueur thing inside. Lying bastard. Right? They haven't got a sweet liqueur thing inside. They have got the most sour juice I've ever come across. It's worse than the outside. It only lasts for a second, but I was walking around and all of a sudden I was like... honestly, it's the world's worst thing to have in your mouth. The thing is, I work with quite a few people. I manage quite a few people. And I thought I'll play a trick on someone who works for me. I'll offer him a sweet. I'll take one. Won't tell them it's sour, and I'll pretend to take it. This may have backfired today at work. I'll give it to someone who's quite a pain in my arse. And he likes to be big and loud. I gave it to him, and he stood there straight-faced. And I forgot that I was not meant to eat it. So I stuck one in my mouth, he stuck one in his mouth. He's like that. Quite nice. And I'm like in front of my workers. So it didn't go fantastically well for me. But this is just how we roll. Right?
You come back, you know? From like this.
Mine's starting to come back. The apple, I wouldn't put that flavour, this is really nice. It's better than the apple e-liquid from Perfume of the Apprentice, but a lot more sour. I'm just trying to get rid of this now. They actually hurt. If you can get these in America, Head Dog. Sorry, Head Dog. We didn't even shout you out, Head Dog.
I knew there was someone else.
I am so sorry. Worm is a tool. I didn't forget about you.
No, you did.
I did not. Sorry, Head Dog. I'm so sorry, mate. You do deserve a shout out for that, and you deserve a special apology because you were basically our first, what I want to call, regular subscriber. You subscribed and one of the first guys to comment on all our videos, and so on and so forth. And I can't believe we forgot about you, mate. I actually feel quite guilty for that. I'm even fighting through the sour for you, Head Dog. So yeah, generally sorry about not putting you in the first bit. If we could crop this and make it look all professional, we would, but we can't. So we might just hold our hands up, say forgot. But we remembered before the video ended. So yeah, Head Dog, if you're watching this, mate, a thumbs up to you, mate. Thanks for the devotion for sitting through our long videos. He did actually comment to us.
Brain Blasters, try 'em.
Brain Blasters, try 'em, but he did actually comment to us the other day, Head Dog.
Or just if you've got someone you don't like, buy them just to fuck with them.
Even though having forgot Head Dog's shout out, he's not bothered enough to let me finish saying sorry. But yeah, Head Dog did actually comment on us saying the other day something along the lines of, you two flap so much that I sometimes leave the room, make a coffee, talk to the missus, and you're still going. Yes, we are. So yeah, sorry we forgot to shout you at Head Dog. We are shouting you out now. Oh my fuck. Oh, that. No.
No? Still there? Are you going to end this video?
I'm trying! Honestly, this was... Wrong.
Would you like another one?
No. But, I had something I was going to say then, I was in the middle of saying something. Yeah, sorry, Head Dog, if you've got Skype or something, mate, add us and have a chat, because it makes it a lot easier to remember the people that are subscribing to us if we're talking to you. So yeah, I just touched on me. Did you see his eye go ding? Yeah. So, sorry guys, we are going to move on to, we've got a couple of videos, so we are going to move off of this one. This has been a quick update video of bits and bobs that we've been up to. Yeah. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. Big up to everyone who's subscribed new, who we haven't spoken to. Big up to everyone who we have spoken to, and hopefully you do continue to speak to us about it.
Head Dog, we do love you.
We do love you. Why? This feels like about the 5th time I've had to say I love you, Head Dog, because we've done something wrong. I offended him and called him Canadian. I can't remember what was. Head Dog, I am so sorry. Honestly, we should not be people in charge. If we ever run the country, don't let us do continental relations, because we will fuck things for everyone. Yeah. Big up to everyone who's subscribed and everyone who's going to subscribe. If you're watching this and you've just subscribed after watching this or one of our videos, big up to you as well. Thanks guys for watching, and we will catch you very soon with another video. I have been Mr. Proton, he has been the Worm. Thanks for watching guys, catch you soon.